Hi, I'm Tara, and welcome to another episode of Game Station 2.0. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was released in November 2011 and is the 16th game to bear the name Zelda, but chronologically speaking, it is the first one in this long-winded and pointless series of games created by Shigeru Miyamoto, who also created Mario. Rich Evans is about to enter his game pod now. Let's see what he thinks of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Good morning, Unit 603, idiot. It's time for your game review. When I press this activation button, the game you will be reviewing will emerge from window 2 in your Game Station pod.
What the fuck? That wasn't a game, that was a baseball.
My mistake. I must have hit the wrong button.
What do you mean you hit the wrong button? There's one button on there. Ow! That was a goddamn brick! Ow! Skyward Sword is the latest installment in the long-running Legend of Zelda series. When this came out, there was a lot of talk about whether or not this game was truly innovative, or in fact just more of the same. The truth, I think, is a little bit of both. You're still Link, well, one of them. You still roam the countryside of Hyrule, searching for the mythical Triforce. Zelda still needs rescuing, and there are still dungeons for Link to explore. Each dungeon contains a special item that must be used to progress through the next area, and Link still has an annoying sidekick who keeps nagging us with information we already know. It's an old formula, and it's still there. The issue is the new stuff doesn't really work for me. The big new feature is the addition of support for the Wii Motionplus. As you wave your Wiimote through the air, Link's sword will follow the exact same motions on screen. Fights in this game are a slow affair. Humanoid enemies you encounter block most of your attacks, so wildly hacking and slashing won't serve to do anything but knock your Wiimote's calibration out of whack. The better fights in the game require you to pay close attention to your enemy's defenses, and then use the game's sword fighting gimmick to land precision strikes at their vulnerable points. One of the highlights being the four-armed Stalfos mini-boss. I give the game credit for trying something different, but all said and done, I think I was having more fun when all I had to do was press the A button to swing my sword.
Evans, Rich, report. I need to inform you that the prognosticator is on the fritz again. Repair teams are on their way.
Okay, but what's a prognosticator? Why are you behind protective glass?
A prognosticator is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment that emits radiation. The purpose of it is to make human males sterile. And I'm behind protective glass to hide my gigantic erection.
Probably my major issue with the game, though, is exploration. Skyward Sword, by far, has the least interesting overworld in the series. The game advertised Link riding around in the sky in a giant bird. Then you spend 10 minutes flying around and you realize the sky is just one big giant wasteland. There are some rocks floating around, the occasional island with a locked chest sitting on it, but by and large, there's absolutely nothing interesting to find or do there. Say what you will about the Wind Waker's vast oceans, but there was almost always something interesting to discover in pretty much every section of that game's sea. That's really not so true with Skyward Sword. Link eventually does make it down to solid ground, but those sections are more like an extension of the game's dungeons, a series of puzzles to solve rather than areas to explore. There's not really anything like Hyrule Field from past Zelda games. There are 3 major areas of dry land, and this game has you backtracking through them multiple times, so you'll be seeing the scenery an awful lot.
Yes, Unit 603, idiot, is aware that his Game Station pod is primarily used to house deadly engine exhaust gas. Yes, he is also aware that it will give him cancer. Yes, he signed all the paperwork.
Hold on. I didn't sign anything.
I'm sorry, I have to call you back. Bloop! What?
Am I some kind of captive here? What is this Game Station? Is this a spaceship? Is this a government lab somewhere in the Nevada desert? Am I on a moon base? Anyway, I don't have much to say about the story, as the story in these games is never really all that important. The game introduces some interesting concepts that could shade the way you view the rest of the series, and also shed some light on exactly why Princess Zelda is so darn important. There's even the first hints of a romantic relationship between Link and Zelda, but the storytelling in the game is shoved far enough into the background that nothing interesting ever really comes out of it. A lot of the additions to the game, like the ability to upgrade items via grinding for treasures that enemies drop, or the bizarre, meaningless dialogue choices, feel very much tacked on to me. Like Nintendo felt pressure to take the series in a bold new direction, but didn't really have any clue on exactly what to do. Skyward Sword isn't a grand new evolution of the Zelda franchise. It's a Frankenstein's monster of the same old Zelda with new ill-fitting parts grafted onto it, all wrapped around the gimmick of a motion-controlled sword. The truth is, this game does deserve the handful of mediocre scores it received, and the series shouldn't automatically get a 10 out of 10 pass just because the subtitle has the words Legend of and Zelda in front of it.
Unit 603, Idiot, I see you've concluded your review.
All done, sir.
Excellent, thank you for your cooperation. Let me send in your next review.